Yes. Wagwan, gentle people. Sanjay Uchiha here, and it's that time of the month again where we talk about my expectations from Boruto Manga chapter. Well, in this month's case, chapter 45. Of course, today is the 17th of April, and honestly, we are 3 days away from the release of said chapter. So, for this video, I've gone over and reread chapter 44 just to kind of get a refresher of what happened so I can talk about what I expect for the upcoming chapter. Of course, for most things Boruto, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment, and yo, yeah, Jordan to 1,000. But anyway, let's get into today's discussion, people. Hope everyone's having a great day as well. Of course, gotta put that out there. Stay safe. So, chapter 45 of Boruto. Honestly, we're at a very interesting segment or portion of the Boruto manga story where, as I keep saying, month to month, we are, well, speculatively on my side, I feel we're about probably 6 to maybe at most 10 chapters away from the Boruto time skip. So everything that's happening now kind of um the main aim I see Kodachi having is basically just setting things up for the time skip. Now, by the end of chapter 44, we got Amado from Kara expressing his interest of basically defecting from the organization and joining Konoha. Of course, he promises intel on Kara, the Otsutsuki, the Ten Tails, Jigen, all the work. So with chapter 45, I kind of expect that we'll be getting a lot of exposition at the same time, if I'm being honest. But exposition can be bad, honestly, depending on how it's executed. But considering we are in the dark where a lot of things are concerned, I think chapter 45 would be the best place to start where this is concerned. And let's have the exposition be the backdrop of the start of the fight between Kashin Koji and Jigen, because the exposition, even though we'll get information regarding Kara and the Otsutsuki and the Ten Tails, all that information which is crucial to the story, you have to look at it like this: that yo, we still need to get invested in Kara and the antagonists that are to come from an emotional standpoint as well. So that when they do X or when they do Y, it's going to either piss us off. You know, like when you're reading or watching a story and like this character does that, and it like you genuinely feel the emotion based on the actions they took. I think that's one thing the Boruto manga is actually missing where the antagonists are concerned. Granted, persons like Kashin Koji, they kind of stir up feelings of like, you know, suspense or that whole mystery factor to it, given that his whole persona, his techniques, they're heavily referencing the fact that he may be Jiraiya. So yeah, but on his own, outside of all of that, Kashin Koji hasn't really developed that emotional attachment with us as the audience outside of his possible relation or possibly being Jiraiya. So that's what I'm saying. All the information that we get needs to be the backdrop of the fight, and the fight itself needs to start. So yeah, because if we're going to be setting things up for the time skip in like 8 to 10 chapters, and there's only so much you can do in a chapter, I think we need to get into the fight, because this fight in itself, I'm kind of expecting it to be at least 2 chapters, at most 3 chapters, even though 3 months of Kashin Koji versus Jigen, I'm not sure how I feel about that. So yeah, but I think if I guess it depends on the execution at the end of the day. So there's definitely that. Now, in terms of the side casts, in the sense of Boruto's other classmates or the persons from his generation, I think this would be the chapter to probably not full blown start pushing them into the story more and start involving them more, but at least start planting some seeds for that exactly, so that when the time skip comes, we can get to see more of them. Now, for the manga specifically, we've had like 4 characters from Boruto's generation be of not necessarily focus, but they've been featured kinda consistently, which is Shikadai, Inajin, Chocho, and Sumere. So I feel those 4 characters are going to play a critical role in the time skip. So I think with this chapter, given everything that happened in chapter 44, with Amado like basically taking Shikadai hostage, and you know, the rest of his team, the rest of I forgot his team number, but the rest of his team being there to see, I think this is gonna serve as a great motivation or motivational, you know, happening or events for them to actually start pushing and getting involved in what's to come, especially once they learn everything that's been happening with Team 7 as well, with Boruto's team. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I think chapter 45 should at least spend, if it's even like 2 pages, let's get some dialogue that could foreshadow them getting more involved. That's one thing I'm going to speculate on happening in chapter 45. So there's definitely that to hopefully expect or look out for, if I do say so myself, or hopefully if not chapter 45, maybe even probably chapter 46 or just before the time skip in general, because that's one thing that the Boruto manga has not been doing a good job of because of the constraints, of course. I would personally say, so it only has a certain amount of time to focus on certain plot points and get over certain hurdles where the story is concerned. So I guess at the end of the day, that's what the anime is for, to actually expound and build up other members of Boruto's generation. So there's that as well. But it would be good to get that, at least some of that, in the manga, if I'm being honest. So there's that. So the fight between Kashin Koji and Jigen in itself now, apart from the information that Amado is going to give, probably might get some flashbacks into Amado and, or at least Jigen himself. So there's that. So I think we'll probably be juggling a lot of things for chapter 45, if I'm being honest. But for the most part, I think that might be it in terms of my expectations, because honestly, I mean, there's only so much pages Kodachi is gonna be allowed to pump out or handle, or basically, yeah, there's only so much pages he's gonna be able to pump out for the chapter. So I think the information I will get from Amado, using that as the backdrop of the fight between Kashin Koji and Jigen starting, and getting probably some flashbacks between Kashin Koji and Jigen, probably getting some stuff from Boruto's generation, like, you know, Inashika Cho, Sumere, maybe Boruto himself. Yeah, I think that might be it in terms of what could possibly happen for chapter 45, if I'm being honest. So there's definitely that. And of course, Naruto and Sasuke, they are the ones that are going to be the deciding factor for what Konoha is going to do next. So yeah, looking out for their response and how Konoha deals or handles this new quote-unquote alliance with the members of Kara that have defected. So there's definitely that. But anyway, Sanjay Uchiha here, people. Let me know what you think. Let me know your expectations for the chapter. We're still 3 days away from the release, so you can definitely have a discussion in the comment section. Of course, for tomorrow, when I really think about it, it would be good if I could like go like on some forums, like probably do a video of me like just going through some forums, kind of seeing what the community is saying about like upcoming chapter. If there's like a specific forum that every person usually go to or something regarding discussing upcoming chapters, you can let me know. I wouldn't mind going through it and just kind of talking about the different opinions that I feel people have for the upcoming chapters on a monthly basis. So what I might do is that probably on a monthly basis, which I always do anyway, is the expectations video, which is this, and I wouldn't mind doing like a community expectations video. So that would be, I don't think that's a bad idea. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, of course. But anyway, that's all I have for this one, people. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. And of course, shout out to the new subs, like, yo, just welcome to the Uchiha clan, people. Okay, that's kind of corny, but yeah, welcome to the channel, and I hope you guys, you know, stick around. Love talking to you guys, honestly. So journey to 1,000 subs, and stay safe, people. See you guys in the next one. Yeah.